Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Thriving Immigrant Podcast. My name is Paul Adewusi. If you are listening for the first time, I want to say thank you for tuning in. You're in the right place. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. And thank you for always being there. Today, I'm excited about my conversation. My guest is an amazing individual. There are a lot of things that I admire about her. I think the first thing is the fact that so many people have pivoted into tech, and when you ask them their history, they tell you that, oh, I studied something completely different from tech in my first degree. At some point I realized that I think I have passion for this thing. Then I went to school, I did. But my guest, Dr. Bolanle Adewusi, popularly known as Dr. B, she's the founder of two startups. She's been in the tech space all her life. So what I mean is, her first degree is in computer science, master's degree is in IT, up to the point of PhD. I don't know what her plans are. Maybe she's going to be a prof someday and start teaching computer science. But I'm really excited to have Dr. Bolanle on the Thriving Immigrant Podcast. Welcome, Dr. Bolanle, to the Thriving Immigrant Podcast.
Hi, Paul. Thank you so much for having me. So, yeah, great profile from what you just read. But yeah, I just want to say, in terms of being a prof, I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to be a prof one day, but yeah, I'm happy to be here to share my journey in the IT field. And of course, how I got to this point. Definitely a lot of stories behind the scene, but I'm happy to share. And yeah, hello, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. So I'm going to start by asking you, what exactly is your drive? How did you find yourself in tech from the beginning of all your life? How did you find yourself in tech from bachelor's degree to this point?
Okay, so in terms of my journey, I would say my drive has definitely been shaped by my dad. So my dad has been such an inspiration in my life. He was an academic and he earned his PhD before turning 30. So I think at age 27, yeah, thereabout, and his entire university education from bachelor's to doctorate level was on full ride scholarship. So I was in the chemical engineering field, specifically the biochemical engineering. Research, did a lot of research in that area, and it was in the United States. So his entire university education was on full ride scholarship in the United States. So his achievements really showed me that the sky is the starting point. So as a little girl growing up, I really kind of like looked up to my dad a lot, kind of like admired his courage to do a lot of stuff, especially in academic world, became a professor at age 39 before he turned 40 in Nigeria. So you can imagine that's a big deal.
It
If you
is.
understand what that means, trust me. And I think it's a huge part of my drive to actually push boundaries because
Mhm.
alongside that, my love for technology also came from him. So I didn't just wake up to start loving technology. The first time I saw a computer was at age 7. And it was during a family trip to visit my dad in Germany while he was on sabbatical. I had gone for a research with the Humboldt Research Institute back then in Germany. So I was there for a couple of years. So we would visit him uh, just to kind of like connect and reunite again. So I was completely hooked on the games on the computer. And when it was time to return to Nigeria, he gifted us, that is my siblings and I, the computer to take back home. So it wasn't done with sabbatical. So it was time we had to go back to school in Nigeria. So we're going back and just like, oh yeah, you can have this. I'll get another. We're like, wow. So
Wow.
that's when the fascination came, yeah, with technology. And it really started to blossom from there. So I got back home, of course, like we had downloaded a couple of games. I think the first then was The Prince of Persia and then Shadow Knight. So we played a lot. And then there was Pac-Man too. Remember the Pac-Man that would go around and also we played those for a couple of months and years. And that was how it started for me. And I was the first I remember in my family to finish the Shadow Knight game. The Prince of Persia was a bit scary for me because you get to a point where those stuff would come and could
Right.
just cut you into two pieces or so. Like if I took it personal, I felt that was me being the prince. So I was so careful playing that game, but Shadow Knight, I was able to get to the end and then finally saw like this huge giant. So I was the first to tell everyone at home, like, hey, this is what you'll see at the end. You just need to save a lot of your power so that at the end you'll be
Mm.
able to bring down the giant. So, well, that was how it started for me. And another key moment was when my dad moved back to Nigeria. He started the first computer center in Ife, Nigeria, because he was a professor at the Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife, Nigeria. So I started this after a sabbatical and then set up the very first one there. So I
Wow.
worked part-time and that's when I really started to fall in love with the practical side of technology. So being able to type in commands on MS-DOS back then.
Mm.
And then I started my first graphic design with Corel Draw. And then I used WordPerfect then, to like the word for the Word documents and all. And then that was how it all started for me. And then started using other applications. So started going beyond the games to the application of the to the actual applications on the computer. Even though I was initially torn between choosing a career when it was time to study a course at the university. And then I had to sit down with my dad, because my dad being a chemical engineer, I looked up to him for years. My dad, like the very
I
first role
imagine.
model I ever had in my life. I don't even know if I have other role models, honestly. I always tell people I
Mm.
have only one role model, and that's my dad. So I just wanted to study chemical engineering as well. But then it sat me down and said, I know I see your love for computing. I see how you support our customers at the computer center during the weekend, even in the
Mm.
evenings after school. And then your maths game is strong. You're very good in maths. So why do you want to choose
Chemistry.
chemistry and all of those other stuff over mathematics? Why not lean towards your strengths? And yeah, and that moment it occurred to me that yes, I love maths. So why do I want to do this? Just because I want to go in my dad's path. I could
Mm.
still do great stuff in my own field. And of course, looking up to my dad and still being able to achieve whatever I need to achieve in my own field. So that really helped me. It helped me to identify my strength. And then I ended up going with computer science. And with the guidance of my dad, he advised me, and that helped me to lean towards my strength, which was the mathematics, like I said. And I'm so glad I did because it's been over a decade now. Like a decade. It's been over a decade. It's been almost 2 decades now since I
Mm.
graduated from my bachelor's program, and I've worked in various roles in the tech world. And I can honestly say that I've loved every minute of it, from being a
Wow.
database administrator, from being a network support team as well during my internship program, being in the software engineering aspect, moving to the space world, like the space sector, and also working on the onboard computer of a satellite
Mm.
to being a product manager, like it's been a journey, and now like product and studying advanced computer science at master's level, doing writing a lot of code, Java, XML, all of those stuff. And to even like PhD level where I now did like core research in
Mm.
ICT, looking at product process innovation and how research and development outputs would actually turn into innovation, how they're being converted, the collaboration between universities and the industry. So yeah, it's been an amazing one. It's what I love to do, and I'm happy that I'm here talking about it.
I could see your passion. Wow. Shout out to your dad. I really love your story, but something stood out for me, the fact that you had someone who could identify your strength, and at the same time, the person had so much influence on you. You were ready to just go his way, but he was able to guide you, saying that even though you look up to me and you want to do what I do, but I think you will do better in this pursuing this route, which is very, very important someone's
Absolutely.
in someone's journey, because so many times we have a lot of people we look up to, we want to model our lives around them, and maybe what they are doing, maybe we don't have the strength to do what they're actually doing, but we just want to be like, we just want to follow what they're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
I think you were fortunate enough to have someone to guide you at the same time, help you in identifying your strength and showing you how to maximize it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel so lucky now when I look back. Even when I got to the university at some point, I was like, oh, thank goodness I'm studying computer science,
Yeah.
because
So this is
like the math part of it really helped with my CGPA
mm,
because I didn't have to do so much. Do you
right.
understand with the math courses? In fact, I would take extra math classes just to help because I know, oh, if I get more A's in maths and because they add more credit units,
Mm,
I'll be able to boost my CGPA more. So I'll take more math classes and courses, add it up. So I wouldn't have to study so long, when it comes to the taking those math courses or like for any of the math courses. So I'll just spend that time doing all the other, reading and catching up with the other theoretical work. But for the math parts, calculations, I know it was a lot easier. And I was able to, privileged to be able to even tutor other people, other students as well. Like some of my friends and people in my class will come together and just tutor them. So that would also help me prepare for the math classes back then. So yeah, I got to that point. I agree. Yes, because I got to that point during my program. I was just like, I'm so happy I chose this course. So yeah,
mm,
thanks to my dad. Thanks to God for giving me such a wonderful
good job.
dad like him. Yeah.
And kudos to you too for putting in the effort. And you also said something now that I just want to just like maybe shed more. I'm not saying you should shed more light. I just want to like kind of buttress the point. You said you focused more on maths just to boost your CGPA because you knew that was your strength. And it's important because in life we all have strengths and weaknesses.
Hmm.
Sometimes we look at our weaknesses and we like we just need to get better at this one. You will spend lesser time in maximizing your strength
Hmm.
than improving your weaknesses. That doesn't mean you shouldn't work on your
Of
weaknesses,
course.
but in a case where you find yourself like, if I focus on my strength,
Hmm.
because I don't want to go into your grade or all that, but if you graduated maybe 4.0 and is as a result of you focusing more on your strength, maybe you would have achieved something lesser than 4.0 if you had focused on your weaknesses, and that would have cost you more, like you would have
Exactly.
expended more energy.
Absolutely. So yes, that really helped me to graduate with a very good grade in the
Mm,
university because I was able to focus on my strengths overall. And then like I said, in terms of building my CGPA was good, but sometimes you just want to push it up there. And then
yeah.
of course, like I have someone to impress, a professor that would always ask me every end of the semester, right? Like, hey, what's
Mm,
your CGPA right now? Where are you? And
yeah.
I remember the first time my dad came to pick me up after the first year. Actually took me to my department. And because the professor, so when he got there, there were a couple of familiar faces for him, or they just knew him, like, hey, prof, this, and the conversation started, and then he was asking him, how's my daughter doing? And oh yeah, she's doing well. This, that.
Mm,
They just opened my old sheet, like for him. So I couldn't even go back home to lie. I was just like, okay.
hey.
Thank God I'm already doing well because I don't even know what I would have said if I had lied to my dad, which I wouldn't have done, but imagine I had done that. And then he gets to my department and then they're telling him something else. For
Yeah.
someone I look up to, if it's disappointed me, it is like the father-daughter or father-child relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So you look so, and then if they get disappointed in you, it might just throw you off totally. So yeah, so those were some of the things that I had to go through, just to keep up and make sure like I'm pretty much like up there.
Oh, from your story, how did you manage the expectation? Like your dad was a pace setter, like you were studying the same school he was lecturing, correct?
No,
Okay,
growing
was
up,
in
I was in a different school.
you were in a different school,
Yes, and it was even in a different department in another university.
university. Okay.
And yet, it still came to that school. And then, you get there, and then immediately a few people saw him. Maybe because they had attended the same school, it was coming
Right.
from, yeah, some of the professors and like the junior lecturers, they were students of the previous of the University of OAU. So they had graduated from there. They had moved to another university. I finished from the University of Ilorin. And
Okay.
then they had moved there to lecture. And then immediately they spotted him. They all came to, say hi to him. And that was the moment it just occurred to me
Got
like,
that.
okay, it's a small world, right?
Mm,
So, and then they're like, hey, this is my daughter. Like, oh, hey. Some of them didn't even know me because I just kept a low profile, I was just doing my stuff. And then they're like, Wow, like your daughter, like eyes are resolved. They couldn't really tell, but they just had to go, and then they looked at it together. Oh, your daughter is doing well, you know. So it was that moment it just occurred to me that okay, like whatever it is you're doing, just put in your best,
Right.
so that even if they have to open your work or go back and look into it, you're able to really stand for yourself and say, yes,
Mm.
I'm doing really well for myself.
Did you feel any external pressure, like any extra pressure? Normally, as kids, of course, my parents were not lecturers, but I knew that I needed to go back home with a good result. Now, for you, that your dad was already a doctor before 30, he was a professor before the age of 40. Did you feel pressured at some point?
Okay, so I think at first, like elementary level, it was okay. And my dad didn't really put a lot of pressure, but of course, like he had his values, you could tell, like, and the standard, you have to do well in school, right? So it's not like he's going to really come out for you. He's going to try to understand what's going on and how to support you, probably get you a lesson teacher if you're lacking some aspect or certain subjects and he needs you to do better. He'll probably like see how to support you. But then it was when I got to, I remember, I think it was JSS 3. I think JSS 3 year would be like grade, in Canada it's like grade, I think grade 8, thereabout, yes. And then that was when I knew because that was when you do, I think common entrance two was still okay because we
Yeah.
had lesson teachers, but it was then like you know, you do this exam that you have to do, like this junior secondary exam, something that you have to do to move to the high school, like the secondary level,
Yeah.
senior secondary level. So for me, was I was still going to continue in the same school. I was in a private school, but then it felt like there was this pressure, like I just have to do well.
Mm.
And then my dad would take me to his office. Like I told him, like, oh, I needed to prepare for my exam. The house is too noisy. Then that was where it all started for me. I started going to his office to study.
Mm.
It started at just level, and I can tell you, like, even to PhD level, I still had the key to his office to go there
Wow.
and study in
I
the
study.
university. Yeah, so I started getting the key. I'll go there. I'll study for hours. He'll bring me lunch, and then be like, okay, yeah, maybe you want to go get lunch, you know, and all. And then he had like beverage in his office, like the coffee maker, all of that, hot water kettle for hot water. You know, like it was like I could be home. And then because his department is so close to the food science and technology
Okay.
department, so they have this special bread they make back then at the university. So it would say, oh yeah, I could just go get some bread and come back and sit, you know, and make the beverage at this time, and then later on you could go get lunch. And then I got used to that life. And guess what? I changed school at the senior secondary level to the Obafemi Awolowo University secondary school.
Hmm.
And that was it. So after school, I'll go to my dad's office every single day. Unless my dad says, oh, I'm not going to be around today. It's okay, it's Friday. I'll be away, so you can just go home because other days is in the office. So we're gonna drive home together, right? I'm gonna ride home with him at the end of the day. So I'll just go to his office. So after school, it's not usual. It's not like the normal after school for me. I'll go there, settle in, and then study my books for the day. Okay, what did I do today? And it's not like he's going to monitor it, but he had a corner for me there in his
Hmm.
office, and his office was attached to the biochemical lab. So like at one corner there is like this table and chair, you know, all set, the desk and all. I'll just sit at that corner and just go over my books and notes for the day. Some days when I'm really tired, I'll let him know. It will say, okay, yeah, I'm going to finish work early, or my last class is at this. You know what? You don't have to wait for me. You can go home. So I just find a way to get my mom to come pick me up. But that only happened a few times. Other times I'm actually with him like 247, like after school, I would drive home, we'll ride home, I'll ride with him back home or go back home together. So that was pretty much like most part of my story. And I did that even till university, like when I come back home and I'm preparing for a new semester. It kind of like just became a lifestyle
Like
for
a
me,
routine.
right? So
Hmm.
and I did that for many years. Even to I can say I did that till up to like 2021, thereabout. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's interesting how our lives and what we do can impact and influence decisions of people around us. Like
Absolutely.
Since age 7, you've had access to lab. Unconsciously, you've just because we are close to your dad. And I'm sure that really shaped and helped you in deciding what you wanted to do. Great. May the Lord
Mhm.
continue to
So
rest
next
his
thing.
soul. Okay. So, how did you find yourself in Canada?
Oh, okay. So Canada. Yeah, so at first, I'd always wanted to like go study in the United States. Like, okay, my dad studied in the United States, you know. So it's kind of like, that part and all of that. But then, yeah, so focus was more on going to the US and all of that, applying for scholarships and all, which I got. And then I started my page in the United States. But then before I started my PhD, I met my husband who was already a PR, right? So he already had like was already a Canadian permanent resident, let me put it that
Okay.
way. And so he was set to move to Canada. But then I wasn't sure if I wanted to move to Canada, honestly, because I just felt like, okay, yeah, like it's close to the US. My plan is to go to the US and study, but you are planning to go to Canada. And then he said he wasn't even sure because he was still back in Nigeria then and he was working. So it was a bit tricky, like, okay, so where are we gonna live if we get married and all
You
of
gonna
that?
live in the US or Canada or at the
Yeah, or
border?
Nigeria. Yeah, exactly. But then I just said, okay, well, I've put in so much work, writing GRE, applying for
Mm,
scholarships, finally get winning scholarships, over $420,000 in scholarships. And then
wow.
now you want me to go to Canada and start this whole process all over again, or you want me to stay back in Nigeria? You know what? Let me just go. And so we got married. We got married. The wedding happened, and then I moved to the US. I started my PhD, and then shortly after, I realized that I was pregnant of my first child. And then the questions started like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, yeah, I'm gonna do. I was really pretty much fine during my first pregnancy with my baby. It was good. I didn't have any issues. I was still attending classes, going to school, doing all of that. But then, like when you eat the third trimester, and then maybe a few weeks
Mm,
to baby arriving, then I felt it, and then the doctor actually advised to take some time off school after the baby. I was like, no, I'm gonna continue my PhD
PhD.
and all of that. I'll just take a few weeks. I'll be back to things, to the grind, doing my work and all. And then the next thing happened. The baby came, and yeah, a few complications, and then I just had to take
Mm,
some time off school. They didn't even have to teach me. Sometimes they won't teach you what to do.
you
You just have
you
to basically take action. So I just reached out to the school, and then I was like, "Oh, can I take a semester off?" Even the administrative officer said, "I'll advise you take a year off." I was like,
mm,
"No, let me just take a semester off, so I can be
passionate.
back." I took a semester off, but still, like first base be the energy draining stuff that you have to go through. It was a lot.
Mm,
And then I just told myself, you know what, go back home. My husband was still back in Nigeria. My parents were there. My mom came, was able to support for a while, but she had to go back. I just thought, okay, I'll go back to Nigeria and just get the support that I needed. Went back, then took another semester off. But then the doctor, it was still based on doctor's advice and all, examination. And like, yeah, you still need more time and all of that. So I just moved back. But like when you're with family, the kind of support you get, it was so good that I just thought, okay,
let me
at this
just stay
stage of my
back.
life, yeah, I need this support. I can't do
Yeah,
it alone. Like raising, how they say it takes a village, right, to raise a
to
child.
raise a child.
That's basically, especially like in certain communities. Well,
Right.
growing up, of course, it took a village to raise people like us back then. So I got that kind of support. So even beyond my own family, like family and friends, people in the neighborhood
Right.
supporting, just like, yeah, this is what I need at this stage of my life. So I just had to reprioritize and just thought, okay, I'll probably just continue my program here. My dad being a professor, all the support, it was just so much. My dad didn't really want it. He thought like go back to
Go back
the
to your
US and just
school.
continue your program and all of that. You did so much, we need the scholarship. I said, yes, I know. And all I know is that there's still a lot of people reaching out to me for support. I'm going to support them.
Mm,
It doesn't mean that they should, but I'm just at this stage of my life where I need to pick myself over any other thing else. And of course, like support my children. And I know I need this support. So and then it was time for my husband to now move to Canada because it's
Canada.
PR was about to expire. He had a year to go, and I think the rule was like you have to maybe be in the country for a while and all of that to renew the PR. So I just told him like you don't have to wait, Yeah, just go get your PR running and all. And then at that time, a lot of people were moving out of Nigeria.
Hmm.
So you already have the PR, you're about to lose it. Does it even really make sense? So it's just like now the truth is I'm home. I'm with my family. So I'm with my parents and with my siblings and a couple of people around me. So yeah, just go. Since I have the support, I'll be fine. And then we even had, I think before he left, our second child came. So then you can imagine my life at that time, right? With two
Hmm.
babies, two babies under 3. Let me put it
Wow.
that way. So I had two babies under age 3. So at that moment, I was just trying to swim through life, right? So dealing with the hormones and all of that. So I just said, yeah, just go for me. I'll be fine. I'll see if I tried to see even if I could go back to the US, but I just thought, you know what, be realistic, make a decision. And then he
Hmm.
moved. And then afterward, when he moved to Canada, he applied for us. So the spousal sponsorship program. And then I visited him with the kids in 2019 when we got the PR. So I came over. uh I checked Canada, like okay, and then we came
Not
up
bad.
during the summer, so it was really hot. I love the hot weather. So because when I was in the US, I was in Indiana. I was in the
Yeah.
Indiana University Bloomington, and it was quite cold. So it was good. I love the campus, very good school. But then I was just like, you know what? I like Canada. Honestly, it's very different from what I thought it was. I used to think like the old Eskimo stuff, like very cold area, But then I felt the sun hit my body. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
at least
Not bad.
there's summer, right? And the summer is real. It's not like some summer kind of summer where you don't even know if it's still winter or not. So I went back home and then I decided like, okay, I'm going to finish my program and move back to Canada. So
Okay.
when I was done, it was time to move back. Then COVID happened. Then we were locked down. So yeah, but still, I was still able to move later on in 2021. And then I've been in Canada since then. Of course, it was a journey as a new immigrant. I had to navigate a lot of stuff,
Hmm.
from the resume process, even though like with a PhD, you still have to understand how things work. So I just had to kind of like gear up, join some immigration programs, which really helped. Actually, the one I joined was very good. It will
Okay.
prepare you for the professional work you want. So they'll teach you how to put your resume together, how to do well in interviews, the possible interview questions. It was really great. It was about 10 weeks. It was long, but
It
it
was
was good
worth it.
because there was COVID was still kind of like there. It was 2020, it was still 2021, like it was around March to June. So I was home with the kids. They were even like doing, I think they had to attend school online. Yeah. So my daughter would have to start at school online. She was in senior kindergarten. Then, okay, when she starts her own, I'm by the side. And then my other daughter was at home with me. But my husband would go to work because he had been here for so long. And then, yeah.
Right.
And then slowly but surely, but everything started coming together. I got my first job. It was even an internship role as a product
Yeah.
manager. I was just like, okay. And then they were about to retain me.
Hmm.
Yeah, they thought, okay, after I think the internship was for 8 weeks, then the owner of the startup organization called the Canadian Payroll organization, yeah. And then they were just like, oh yeah, we like your work ethics and all, we're going to retain
And
you.
you?
And shortly after
Wow.
I got my job at TELUS. And then yeah, I got a senior program product manager role, and then I just thought, okay, yeah, let me move there. I like the company. I was actually applying to TELUS and some other telecommunication company because I've been in the space sector for a while, so it was something kind of like close to what I've been doing. So
Hmm.
I want to get like some experience in that field as well in that area. So I just moved to TELUS, and yeah, the journey continued from there. Yeah,
Wow.
so in terms of like raising family here, I love it. So
Okay.
I'm so glad to be in Canada as an immigrant, and I can now that I'm even like into like the old startup stuff and all, and being out there meeting people. I see a lot of opportunities for
Hmm.
business owners, for entrepreneurs, and even eventually as a professional. It might take a while, but it's worth it, right? Just keep pushing, know what you want. I think what helped me is I already knew what I wanted before I moved. I already like, oh, I want to be in the industry. I want to be in the product innovation field. And
Right.
then I identified the certifications that I just needed to do, even though people were like, oh, with the PhD, you have to do a certificate. Yes, you have to. You have
Hmm.
to get certified in your field. So I first did some of those. In fact, I think, yeah, I did that first. And then I got into the immigrant program, put my resume together, started practicing for interviews, then reach out to a few people. And from there, and the good thing is I was able to, there's a good community. If you're able to reach out to people, I think
Hmm.
that really helped me because I just reached out to my friends already here that I'd met in Manchester, in Nigeria. And I sort of like, hey, I said that you're here, like, let's talk, what are the opportunities they talk? And then some of them are like, oh, we're not in this field, but I know someone. So it's always, even if they're not there, they might know someone. I know someone who was trying to get into this same space last year or 2 years ago, and they're there now. Maybe you want to talk to them. And then went on and then they were able to guide me on what to do, how to position myself, for the right opportunities. And yeah, here I am. So glad to be here.
Okay. Thank you. That was a very beautiful story. And I could see your passion and joy, like walking us through your journey. I, and we were talking about your first job, and I saw that excitement, like, and I remember, I just remembered my experience coming to Canada. It was a mix of emotions for me. I was excited at the same time I was anxious
I know. I know that
because,
feeling.
yeah, I wasn't sure what Canada was going to offer me. I was so anxious about my job. Like, I was like, will I get a new job? Am I
Mhm.
pivoting into another industry? Am I going to continue what I was doing? But you talked about reaching out to people, talking about community. And luckily, my first job, I got it in 3 weeks.
Lucky you.
And the story is interesting because when we moved to our first apartment, the guy who came to install internet, I just spoke to him. I was like, hey, guy, I don't mind doing what you do. I think the
Mhm.
guy is from Sri Lanka. And he said, oh, fine. I can speak to my supervisor for you. And that was it. So
Wow.
he spoke to his supervisor, we scheduled an interview. And that was how I got my first job with Rogers.
Wow.
Now, it taught me one very big lesson. And the lesson is a closed mouth doesn't get fed. That
True.
guy could have come, fixed internet, and that would have been the end of the relationship.
Mhm.
But when I reached out to him, I said, oh, hey, guy, I don't mind doing what you do. Well, no problem. And the interview was easy, even for someone that was pretty new in the country.
Mhm.
I got my first role. So,
Yeah, one
talk,
of the what's it called? The few lucky ones.
the few lucky ones, right?
The few lucky ones. A lot of people don't get their first jobs in
That way,
under 3 weeks. Yeah, so
I
that
know
that's the power of speaking up, and letting people know where you are and what you need.
absolutely. Now, talking about speaking up, if you are listening and you're enjoying this conversation, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Now I'm speaking up. Please subscribe to this channel. Share this podcast with 3 people and tell them to subscribe. That's one way to motivate me to keep doing this. I
Mhm.
know I share a lot of value and I put in a lot of effort to share valuable content. And I think a lot of people would love to hear what we do. So please support the Thriving Immigrant podcast. Thank you so much for subscribing. Back to you, Dr. B. I've been
Okay.
enjoying this conversation. I hope we don't go be
Likewise.
I hope we don't go beyond the scheduled time. Now you founded 2 startups, the Innovative Women Africa and the Scholarship Wiz. Obviously, you are passionate about empowerment. Can you share a little bit about what you do? Because I'm not really sure. I know the Scholarship Wiz is straightforward, but for the Innovative Women Africa. Do you want to speak a little bit about those 2 companies and how the journey has been as an
Mhm.
entrepreneur?
I'll say I know, like it's been a journey. For me, both startups are incredibly close to my heart. So,
Mm.
because they focus on empowerment, which I believe is essential in unlocking the potential of individuals, particularly women and students. And for the students group, that actually include both women and men, like everybody. So it's not peculiar to women. But for the Innovative Women Africa initiative, that was born out of my recognition of the significant gender disparity in the tech and innovation sectors. So when I was doing my PhD program, I came across a paper that actually talked about this disparity. And then I read more. I was just bringing a lot of paper, like when you're doing your research, you come across different things, different articles. So I read more. I got curious, when you start reading about your gender, so the
Mm.
curiosity came, and then I dig more into it, and then I saw the gap in terms of number of women that actually file for patents versus men that actually get their patents approved and even file for patent. Like it was huge. So like, what's going on, right? And then because I was focused on research and development output, which included publications, prototypes, and also patents. So the patent piece caught my eyes because the whole plan is when you get it, how do you turn those into product and process innovation, in the
Right.
how do you work with the industry to bring those things to life beyond just writing papers and getting patent. You could get a patent for something and it might never be applied to the real world, So I was so passionate about that at the time. So when I came across that, I wasn't so happy, as a woman, like, why can't we file for patents? What's going on? What's this gap? And also I started doing more research and then I just realized that, okay, there are not so many people driving women towards this area of
Mm.
things, right? Even till now, honestly, the gap is still there. But then I was just like, let me start my own the little way I could. And women, especially those from Africa, are underrepresented in these fields, like in all of these. So I looked into it. I was just like, the percentage of women in Africa that were even involved, it was about 0 point something.
Oh,
Trust me, not even
wow.
up to 1%. The other women that were represented, they were from Asia, Europe, and America. So North America mostly. And then I just thought about it. Okay, what can we do? So I thought, okay, I can create a platform that would change at
This
least some of the
narrative.
things, the little way I could. And then started the Innovative Women Africa, started offering mentorship, network opportunities, access to resources to help women thrive in technology and innovation.
Mm.
And the programs and initiatives would inspire and equip women with the skills, knowledge, and confidence. Sometimes some people have the knowledge, they don't just have the confidence. And I've seen that happen real life,
A
like
lot of
a
times.
lot of times, exactly. And to not only enter these fields, but to lead and innovate with
Mm.
their knowledge. And overall, to also help them unleash their creativity and critical thinking. So some people have it in them, but they just need that space, that environment to really unleash it. And when I see
Wow.
someone that is creative and they can't really do much with it, honestly, it hits me in not a very good way. Yeah, because I'm just like, how can you be so creative? The world needs what you have, but then you
Hmm.
don't even know how to bring that to life. So we worked with over 1,000 high school students in the past, introducing
Amazing.
them to art, science, and innovation, and also fostering their interest in those areas. And through our programs like the Innovation for Women Forum, we've also been able to help women entrepreneurs and professionals by providing them with practical insights on turning their ideas into reality or making their ventures successful. And this is more like to empower them to create lasting impacts in their communities. So that's what we've done at the Scholarship Wiz. And in terms of like a few data that I was able to gather that actually led to the initiative, I realized that 9% of women participate in innovation hubs globally. So the very
Okay.
first forum that we had for women, I made sure like it was at an innovation hub in Abuja, in FCT Abuja back in Nigeria. So it's like, okay. And people were like, wow, we didn't even know there's an innovation. A lot of people that attended, they didn't know a
I
space
didn't
like that
know.
actually existed.
Interesting.
So that kind of like opened their eyes to those kind of opportunities, co-working spaces, where they could come and even like get support on their innovative ideas and all of that. And then, like I said, 30.5% of all international patents filed are for women, and less than
Hmm.
1% are for women in Africa, out of the 30.5. So imagine the gap already.
Very
70% for women, and then 30.5 are for women. Women in Africa actually have less than
less than
50%.
1%. Wow. That's a huge gap.
Yeah, And then I just did like some research back then, and I realized that 41% of women have fear of failure, holding them back from realizing their potential.
Hmm.
So I
Do
know
you have the number for men?
I don't have the number for men because I didn't look into that, but I think that's a good one. Honestly, I should look into that and just see and really compare. Maybe it's about the
Maybe there
same,
are
but I don't
more.
think so. Honestly, it could be some bias, yeah, but I don't think so. But yeah, it's a good one. They always say it's good to use data. So I wouldn't really speak for men right now because I don't have the data. But yeah, for
Right.
women, that's what I've noticed. Like 41% of women actually
Hmm.
have that fear of failure. There's other factors that I've not actually looked into, but of course, I plan to do more research even as I continue to support women to really identify those other factors that could be holding them back. So yeah, that's it about the Innovative Women in Africa. As for the scholarship Wiz, yeah, like I said, it's straightforward. Our mission is to help students overcome one of the biggest barriers to higher education, which is being
Hmm.
able to afford it. So securing scholarships can be an overwhelming and confusing process. I've been there, so I know. Like,
Imagine.
what's the next thing? Like, will I ever get it? Is it even real? I've seen people ask those questions. Even for me, even for me, I knew since I was a little girl that scholarships are real because my dad won scholarships, and there's no way his parents would have been able to afford to send him abroad.
Hmm.
So it was so obvious. But still, until I got my own letter,
Before you believed it,
scholarship letter, that it really occurred to me that this thing is
it's
real, you
real.
know? And that's where we actually step in at the Scholarship Wiz,
Okay.
basically providing personalized coaching, consultations, and resources to guide students through their scholarship application journey and to help them navigate that process, which could be confusing, like I earlier stated. And whether they choose our do-it-yourself approach, where they get the tools and support to manage their applications independently, and we support them all through that, or our comprehensive service where we undo everything from finding scholarships for them, helping them with the application process. Our goal is just to make the process more accessible and manageable for
Wow.
every student that actually come to us. So we've already helped by help we've coached over 10,000 students on how to secure scholarships, and through that I would say significant number has been able to win over $5 million in scholarships in just a few years. So
So
scholarship we
be
started in 2020 during
wow.
COVID.
Five
So
million dollars. I think you should take take a deep breath.
okay, don't
Don't
rush it.
don't
Calm
rush it.
down. I
Five
know.
million dollars is a lot of money. So and just imagine the impact on each family, on those families and the community, not even for securing the scholarship, because the journey doesn't end there.
Sure.
What you are doing is like you are creating a bridge for people to fulfill destinies. Because when they are done with their education, you cannot even predict the kind of amazing future that you've created for them.
Absolutely.
Because that
I
$5
agree.
million will bring more than $500 million back to those communities because they will now start making good money. Some of those people probably would never have the opportunity to leave maybe Africa. Now they've moved to a better place. Is a very significant work that you are doing. The next generation will likely be raised in this part of the world. Those people too will likely go to school. Just imagine the ripple effects of those scholarships that you've been able to help people to secure. So when you were saying it casually, $5 million, I just had to stop you. Like, no,
Right.
it's a big deal. What you are doing is very, very tremendous. So thank you so much and God bless you.
Yeah. Amen. And yeah, absolutely. It's always a pleasure. It's what I love to do. And yeah, thank you for your kind words. And now, based on your point, I think I should add that to my pitch deck, right? Where you said the $5 million will actually turn into $500 million. Honestly, that's something to really talk about in terms of the impact. I think sometimes it's kind of like look at it, oh, it's $5 million, but
No, it's
that's a
not.
lot. And it's not. Yes,
It's
that
not.
is gonna because it's education, they're gonna get educated and that's gonna turn around, over
Yeah.
years.
The
So
$5 million is just like a capital.
I know.
Yeah. As long
Absolutely.
as they continue to work and make money just because they got that education, no matter how much they make, is as a result of living and getting that scholarship. That's how I see it.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you pay me
thank you for
for that
helping me see it
pitch.
that way. And yeah, I'm going to take that back. It's not just gonna slide, and probably you see it next time I'm up there like talking about my business. I might be referring to how that would actually help people. I know that, but sometimes you just don't really think of it that way. So yes, thank you
Right.
for calling that out. And yeah, so we're committed to expanding our impact overall and helping even more students achieve their academic dreams. And right now, the scholarship ways we're actually expanding beyond just supporting international students. We're looking at how we can even support domestic students. A lot of students take loan, for
Hmm.
their university education here in this part of the world,
Yeah.
in the developed nations. And then basically they're taking on debt, pretty much starting their life to start paying debt back after. So
Hmm.
how can we support this type of student? So those have been questions in my head. I've been out there, trust me, trying to find the solution and trying to understand like the system here in Canada, in Europe, in the United States as well, and see how we can actually step in and support from that perspective. So I would say in terms of both initiatives that I drive, they actually stem from my own belief that education and access to opportunities are powerful. And they're actually tools for change and empowerment. So, particularly in regions and sectors where these resources may be limited. So,
Hmm.
starting from Africa, where I'm from, my origin, and then to other parts of the world, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, Australia, wherever it is, I believe all these opportunities can are actually applicable to people there as well. So, not just limited to people in Africa.
Thank you. The work you are doing really, the work you are doing really matters, and you are touching lives. Are there still opportunities for scholarships in 2025? This is 2025. A lot is going on. A lot has happened in the last 3 months. Do we still have those scholarships available?
Yeah, so one thing I would say is right now is not like the scholarship season. So that's the thing about scholarships. So usually like funding for scholarships usually defined like around this time mostly for the actual season, which is going to start from around July, August. So fingers crossed, I believe nothing should impact the research field. So
Hmm.
as far as we still have to do research, there will be funding opportunities, right? And the world
Right.
needs research. We need to be ahead of the game, right? We need to keep doing research and thinking ahead. The only reason why the world is where it is right now with all the innovation is because of research. Without
Hmm.
research, there's no innovation.
There's no innovation. That's
That's the
true.
truth, right? So research is what helps you identify the gaps and then understand how to close the gap. So I believe as far as research is not touched in any way with everything going on, it could impact like the numbers. I
Mhm.
can't 100% tell yet, but we would know by June with all the papers. I'm pretty much like following a couple of education, news outlets, media, and all of that, trying to really understand what that would look like. Nothing so much at this time,
Okay.
but we'll know by June. Like, for example, there's a particular scholarship we've been tracking for our community. It's not yet out.
Hmm.
Normally, by now, we should be at almost the decision stage, but it hasn't even opened for this year. So
Hmm.
you can imagine what that means, right? It's a
Right.
bit tricky because a community member won that last year. And I know what that meant. Like you said, like how it helps families. I remember like it was like a friend of mine who is like an uncle to the client had reached out to me like, oh, this my niece is about to go to school and we have to pay $60,000, and all of that. It's just like $60,000. I
$1,000.
got
That's
a
a lot of
profile, like
money.
send me a profile. So like send that to my class, like the audacity, like come to my class. Let's help you, let's see what we can do. And then she came in less than 3 months. She had joined in November. Yeah, November class, graduated in December. In December, then we started in January, February, March. She applied for that funding. So by April, May, thereabouts. So I would say like within 5 months,
Okay.
they already reached out to her.
Wow.
They're basically selecting her for interview. Coach her
Okay.
through the interview process, and by June, she got the funding, fully funded, visa, ticket, everything, airline.
Wow.
All
That one,
fully. That's the actual fully covered, you know,
to which
uh,
country?
program to the UK
So that one, that person left Nigeria for free.
for free, basically. Visa
Wow.
paid for, tickets paid for,
Amazing.
everything, accommodation, and she'll get stipend monthly, tuition fully paid. And then when I reached out to her, I was like, "Oh, I need you people to give us like testimonials." And I was like, "Unless you're shy, like shy for what?" My friend took it personally, like, "Shy for what? You just helped our family. That's over 100 million
Mm,
naira." And then it
that's
occurred
true.
to me. It didn't even occurred to me until he called it out. They're like, "Wow,
Wow.
100 million naira. That's a big deal, right?
It
Like that's a
is.
lot of money."
It is.
Yeah. So we're still tracking things, and I'm hoping it wouldn't impact the research world. As far as it doesn't, we should be fine.
Okay.
People will be fine. And why I say we should be fine is because the community means a lot to me. So if people are not getting the right funding for their education, I won't be happy about it. That's the truth because
Mm,
I just believe everybody, like as far as you've done your part, you should have like that opportunity.
I
You've
agree
done your
with you.
part, you've gone to maybe like high school, you graduated, especially if you even graduated with a good grade, you should have the opportunity. And if you don't have you have not graduated with a good grade, but you've done other things, for yourself, and you have the zeal to still proceed to higher education, to change things around for yourself, and improve your profile, then you should get the opportunity as well. So I'm really hopeful things would go pretty well this year in terms of funding opportunities for people
For
to attend
people.
colleges, universities, and overall higher education for their master's, PhDs as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the work you are doing. Thank you for impacting lives. Is it a myth that only bright students get scholarship? And I know you touched on it a little bit, but I don't know, but maybe I might be wrong. People always feel like only the very bright ones get scholarships. And I think there are more scholarships for science and tech students. Is that correct?
Okay, let me touch on that. That's a good question, actually. So, when it comes to scholarships, absolutely, there are more opportunities, funding opportunities for people in the STEM field, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Hmm.
But doesn't mean that there are no funding opportunities for people in other fields, in other programs. So I've seen people win scholarships to actually go for a program in the art field, in
Hmm.
journalism. One of the clients that I just shared a story with me last week, she's in the law program. And she didn't even start applying because she joined late last year for the court. The court, it was like end of the year, the last court for the year. And she didn't start applying until January. And by March, she already got over $50,000 in funding, to actually study
Law.
law in a university in the United States. And then it just occurred to me that look at this. At the end, she was able to what she did and what I always encourage people, identify the trend in your field. What
Hmm.
is the trend in your field? There's always funding for the new trends because they're trying to figure it out. So unless it's something you're not passionate about, which is okay,
Right?
then we need to re-strategize, right? When you don't want that trend, you don't want to go in that line, which is fine. But if you're good with understanding the trend in your field, whether at bachelor's level or master's
Masters.
level or PhD or even postdoc, there will always be funding, but then it's still limited if you're not in the STEM field. So it's more competitive, right?
Hmm.
So when it's more competitive, that's where you need to put in certain things in place. What are the gaps in your profile? What are the things you need to do? And those are the things we teach. at the
Right.
Scholarship Wiz to let people understand that, okay, scholarships will just come your way. You have to position yourself. It's just like applying for a job, right?
You have to ask for it.
Position, just like how you do certifications and all of that. Yeah, you have to position yourself for those jobs to be able to make yourself what's it called? Stand out, make your
Right.
application stand out. Exactly, because they're competitive. There are lots of people, there are smart people out there as well, just like you. So even when you don't have like the grade working for you, what are the gaps? Okay, you don't have your grade, a good grade from the university or maybe high school. What are the things, other things you have? And if you don't have them, how can you close those gaps?
Hmm.
And same way at any level, you're a graduate, you have a work experience, you have this, can you use that work experience to close those gaps? So those are the things we'll look at, like assess your profile and support you on how to close those gaps. And if you are open to it and ready to put in the work, I tell people, like, people ask me, what's your success rate? I said, the success rate depends on you.
On you.
What is your drive rate? Right?
What is your
How
drive rate?
driven are you to, because at the end, I will be the one applying for the scholarships, but I need to know
True.
your own drive rate. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to navigate that process with you. And my team are also here for that. So each of my team members would support you, but we need to know your drive rate.
I
Success
like
rate,
that.
I can confidently say, is at 99%
Right.
if your drive rate is going to match our success rate. But if
Hmm.
your drive rate is not going to match it, do you get, like, how do we actually push you? But
Right.
sometimes you might not actually have it. Some people I've seen them not even really have the drive. But then they come to class and then after that they have the drive. I'm like, where is this coming from? The
Yeah.
truth is we're gonna match your energy. So after everything or even during the program, I like to match people's energy. You have the energy, I'm gonna go with you. Because
Right.
I see that you have it in you, you are ready for this. And most of the time, like at least 99% of the time, people that have the drive, they always get it. Something I've come to realize that, okay, at the end, the ball is in your court as a human, right? You
Right.
need to decide what you want for yourself and go for it. So the first step you've even taken as a client at the scholarship is you've actually reached out to us. So it means that you have it in you. You
Hmm.
believe you can do it. So then make sure you keep that energy till the end till you get it. And not don't be ready to give up at the very first rejection. So because yeah, it's scholarship and all of that. Yeah, because, yes, you have come to us so that we can help you reduce the rejection rate. But doesn't mean that it won't happen sometimes. Some people are so lucky they come, they apply for the first scholarship, they get it. But some people, the first one might be a rejection, but the next one they get it.
Hmm.
And if you get the first one, or if you don't get the first one, the thing is that it might not be you. It might just be about the scholarship board at that time. What are the factors they're considering? Are they considering, if you're an international student, for example, are they considering more domestic students at that time? Do you
Probably.
understand? Compared to internet. So there could be so many things going on behind the scenes. So it's not you. That's why we work with you so that you can apply for multiple scholarships. So we're not teaching you how to apply for one scholarship and yeah, that's it, right? And that's why I prefer people to go through the coaching because you won't just come and say, oh, apply for this one scholarship for me, and then that's it.
Hmm.
While some people have been lucky, I've worked with a lot of people that have been super lucky. They apply for the one scholarship and they get it, and that's it. And it's always like always fully funded offers. I was like, you people are lucky. And even for me, I still had to do multiple scholarships. But then when I got it, I got a lot of it, and then that's why I could put everything together and say, oh yes, I won over almost $500,000 in scholarships. But you can't attain those numbers if you're just applying for one, and if you apply
Yeah.
for one and it's partial, then you want to consider maybe like applying for other opportunities so you can we can combine the partial opportunities together to actually give you the fully funded offer that you're looking for.
Thank you, Dr. B. So this last point you made, you made some powerful points. And I've also realized that one of the factors that determine one's success in life is the environment. Because, like you mentioned, your drive rate must match your own success rate for both of you to reach the same goal.
Exactly.
You can force a horse to the river, but you can't force the horse to drink. And
That's
people,
it. Yeah, exactly. That's it.
but by being in the community of people pursuing the same goal, you just unconsciously find yourself with a drive that you don't naturally have. And that's why environment really matters. It's because I also have a community. That community, for accountability alone, some people even come to the class because they don't want to be called and be asked, oh, why did we see you in class? Some people do the homework because they don't want to be called and be asking them, like, oh, why did you submit your homework? So somehow they are just they are just successful by association. So
And
because
why
they
not?
and
Right?
why
Why
not?
not?
Yeah. So because they find themselves in that
Yeah.
community, everybody's moving forward.
Mhm.
They are just pushing you along and you are moving forward and you're making progress.
That's it.
That's why some people pay a lot of money to join some clubs, some network. So they want to build some network for themselves. And they say, oh, to join this club, there's a subscription fee. And it's not like they are paying because they will give them an opportunity right away. They
Hmm.
just know that if I find myself in this circle, I will push myself unconsciously.
Exactly. And that happens a lot to a lot
That
of us.
happens to a lot of us,
I
a
think
whole
even
lot.
me sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll pay, but I'm sure if I look deep, like if I actually dig deeper, I'll be able to find something like that. Like being part of a community just because I feel I'm going to actually get the drive that I'm looking for to
So,
be able to attain certain, maybe a certain goal or certain goals,
yeah.
probably.
Because no matter how naturally ambitious you are, that drive can die if you don't have people pushing you.
Sure.
Yeah. And you will think you've arrived. But by the time you start talking to people, you realize that, oh, your success is even somebody's somebody's failure. You have a lot to do. You're like,
Honestly.
okay, yeah. This has been a very insightful conversation. Thank you so much, Dr. B. So if you are listening to me right now and you are thinking that one day I would like to find myself maybe in the US or in Europe or anywhere, and you know that the only chance you have is by going through the school route, and you also know that that is like something you cannot afford, you may want to contact Dr. B. Dr. B is going to share, she's going to share a contact before the end of this conversation. Contact her and see maybe there are things they can help you with. Even if you made 2-2 from school, like she said, there might be opportunities for you. And you really cannot tell until you try. So, but before I let you go, I want to talk about, I know it's been a very long one, but I want us to talk about artificial intelligence. That's the reigning thing right now. And you have been in that space for more than 2 decades. I'm sure some of us are just hearing that word maybe for the first time, maybe in the last 2 years. But you will agree with me that AI has been in existence for a longer time. It's just that people are beginning to now realize it. So let me tell you what I think about AI or what's likely to happen. I feel like AI is revolutionizing. Is that even is that the
Hmm.
right word? Yeah. The AI is changing the world at a very fast pace. And when you look at how the world has advanced over the last 2, 3, 4 decades,
Hmm.
I feel like AI is going to be like a new foundation for a new world. And this is what I mean. It's going to be like when electricity was invented and when internet was invented. You know, when electricity came, I wasn't there, but that product has given more opportunities than electricity itself.
Sure.
In the sense that I'm sure electricity led to things like TV, like refrigerator, like electric kettle,
Dishwasher,
dishwasher,
washing
iron,
machine, a lot. Yeah.
a whole lot of things were not existing because there was no electricity.
The computer.
Like computer, the same with internet. There was
Mhm.
no social media, there was no Zoom.
Sure.
Those opportunities could not exist. They needed internet for those opportunities to to be given birth to.
True.
So when internet came, we people started thinking about what can I use this internet for? Can we do Facebook? Can we do Instagram? Can we do X? Can we do Zoom? Can we start streaming? Can we do YouTube? But I'm not sure if people pay attention to it that these products and services I'm talking about can only survive because of internet. And I think that's what's going to happen in the next 2, 3 years with artificial intelligence. It's going to create so many opportunities and it's going to consume so many existing opportunities right now, but it's going to create new one.
New ones, yeah.
But I don't have the experience that you have. I'm also in tech, but in my own case, I pivoted at some point. So, what do you think about my prediction and what do you have to say about artificial intelligence and what should people do to tap into the opportunity that is looking straight into our eyes right
Hmm.
now?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like you said, like how it's been a journey, right, in the tech world, even like the electricity and all of that. So it's just gonna be the same. Like for example, now we can all go into Canva. There are templates that we all use now.
Mm,
Back then, to learn Corel Draw,
yeah, to learn
like I
correctly.
had to laugh because it was a big deal, right? To
Mm,
even navigate Corel Draw and make design and come up with a logo. But now you can even tell AI to come up with a logo before I even go there. So you can imagine AI coming up with your logo.
yeah.
But then some years back, if you were all on Canva, when I started Scholarship Wiz, I started with Canva.
Mm,
Everything, my templates, even the logo, I just created something on, and we used it for years until last year where we finally got a designer to create a logo for us. It's just like, it's not just to have something, the scholarship, and I used Canva to design it, and I used it for years. So the truth about AI is that there's been so much talk about it recently, and I understand why. As someone that has been in tech for years, I remember when there was a time like it was all about networking. You remember those days of Cisco, the
yeah.
CCNA, CCNP, and then we got to the Oracle stage.
What's
I
this
remember I was
computing
in Oracle
NIT?
class, Oracle 10G, Oracle Certified Associate at the OCP, Oracle Certified Professional, and then that was the database piece. And before then, there have been other things, So I'm
Yeah.
just the one and then we got to the data science piece. I don't know if you remember, like some 10 years, about a decade ago, and then it was all about data science and all of that, the trend, right? And then from data science, a lot of opportunities came. If you
Right.
notice, so many opportunities actually. And from that, machine learning had been there. I
Mm-hmm.
remember even
But
AI,
became
but they
more
were not like as
pronounced.
pronounced. Yeah. But then a few years ago, boom, the AI boom, right? So a lot of people are debating its potential and its challenges, but for me, I'm really excited about it. That's the truth.
Hmm.
It's been a total game changer for me. With my day-to-day work, it's a lot easier to do things, if you understand what I mean. Like
Absolutely.
before, like you don't have to, like now, say with AI, use AI to work smarter, not harder.
Right.
Right? Exactly. So if you understand how to, even some of my team members, I encourage them. They're trying to, like, have you checked this?
Have you
Check
tried
with AI,
ChatGPT?
right? So it's now becoming that assistant.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
that's
and there
mind
are lots of
blowing.
AI agents coming up.
Yeah.
Yes, like you said, it's going to make the world lose a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
But then,
It should create new
someone
ones.
said, AI will not make people lose their jobs. It's people that do not understand how to leverage AI that
Yeah.
would lose their jobs first, at least.
Somebody
And
said AI will either take your job to the next level or take your job completely.
exactly. But
Yeah.
if you are leveraging AI, the organization can see how you're doing that. You can even still show them, but still they are seeing the outcome. I'm not saying
Yeah.
output now, outcome of you leveraging AI, whether it's a co-pilot, whether it's the AI agent, whatever it is you're doing with it, and then it's getting the business going, for
Mm.
example, or is helping the organization in certain ways, they need you. because they need someone that would actually get that thing done, whether or not
Absolutely.
it's AI or not. AI still needs some prompting, right? It still
Of
needs,
course. Yeah, it still need human to tell
exactly.
it what to do.
But it's you being able to actually leverage your intelligence as
Hmm.
well, your own human natural intelligence to get it to do what it needs to do
True.
in a very fast and seamless way. So why
So
not?
true.
And then it's even from there, the thing about these tools that I've noticed from using it over and over, you start identifying other opportunities. And that's what happened to the case of internet or so many things coming up,
Yeah.
or Google days, Gmail, all of those, the Yahoo Mail those days, it's like, okay, we can send messages. We
True.
don't have to post letters, all those opportunities will start coming up. And it could be the next breakthrough for you. You could be doing your 9 to 5, but that
Absolutely.
could be you could just come up with an idea like, wow,
Boom.
we could do this, or I could do this, or I could own this, or could start this. It depends on you at the end. It's going to create a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed about any venture or any organization or even humans, we're looking for ways to get things done quicker in a very fast manner, like not as stressful as it should be, in a
Right.
very easy way, like an easy approach to getting things done.
Convenience
That's
and
what we're looking
speed.
for. Exactly.
Convenience and speed. Yeah.
So everyone should pay attention to how it's moving. Even for me, for my organization, just identifying like a few opportunities that AI could support us with. I'm excited about it. But the next is, okay, how do we get there? That's another question, right? But just thinking about it, we're like, wow, this is what this thing can do for us.
Yeah. It's
And that's kind of like the
exciting.
next level. It's unbelievable, right?
Unbelievable.
So
Unbelievable.
it's been a total game changer. Even
Hmm.
for us, like I said, at the Scholarship Wiz, even with my teams, AI has helped us streamline some of the really time-consuming tasks that we do. And we used to deal with, but it's made our processes faster and way more efficient. And that means we can help students more effectively compared to
Right.
before. And actually, we're even working on an AI-powered tool. But then, like I mentioned, we're still trying to figure it out. Like, okay, how it will really work and what do we need? Like the type of support that we need to actually bring it to life.
Hmm.
So all I have to say, this is the moment that really show you how transformative AI can be, whether it's making your life easier as a business owner, as a support analyst, as a product manager, as a customer support person, representative, whatever work you do, and even if you own any type of business, what are the some aspects of your business that AI can support you with, and
Hmm.
even provide even more opportunities for people.
Yeah.
I truly believe AI has the potential to reshape how we do things, honestly, and I'm excited to see where it takes us next. So I'll just advise everyone to take a course or get
Hmm.
certified in AI. So start understanding, start even using AI. And from there, people can decide and identify further opportunities. The
Yeah.
certifications might help as an eye opener, taking a course as well. But the truth is, the next person that might even build the biggest, AI stuff could actually just be a baker right now. A baker that thinks,
Absolutely.
oh, I don't think my work is requires a lot of,
Hmm.
hands-on and all of that. I have to be hands-on with my stuff. Might be the next,
The next biggest,
innovator,
the
major
next
in AI
biggest
innovator.
innovator.
Exactly. So there are lots of things coming up. Even
Yeah.
like I remember like before, people were so focused on the machine learning models and all of that. But now people are thinking AI agents,
Yeah.
the
Agents.
agentic aspect of AI now. Yeah, you still need to train it, but it's just more like for the assistance, the support. And I think every business needs that. And I've even seen
Absolutely.
like some organizations move really quick. Like the case of Tellus. Tellus started like building AI in-house to support the team members. And from now, it's being commercialized. Their AI
Hmm.
Copilot is commercialized, the Fuel X, and is being used by other enterprises. So those
AI.
are things you need to think outside of the box. Like while you're creating a solution, for yourself, for your own day-to-day work, or for your
Right.
own venture or like a business or enterprise, you need to think about how you could even help other people that might need the same solution to solve their problems. So we
Right.
need to start thinking out of the box with AI, and now we can leverage it
You are
for.
spot on. AI, the more I think about it, the more excited I get. It is astonishing. I'm just very excited about the opportunities that are gonna be created when in the next 2, 3 years we will be looking back at 2024, 2023, and it will look like we are talking about 10 years or 15 years
Honestly,
ago.
it's getting there already.
Yeah.
I remember
Just
tasks I used to do. I was telling one of my, she had reached out to me for something at the Scholarship Wiz. She was my client, and now we've become friends. And she's like, "Oh, I need the support. Yeah, can you help me this?" So it's just like, yeah, I remember those days when I was helping you with this, and I would have sleepless nights, so you could meet your deadline. I said, I don't do that again.
anymore.
And I showed her because, like I said, she's now my friend, and she's even like probably going to be joining us soon as a mentor at the Scholarship Wiz. I
Oh,
just joined.
awesome.
I just brought her and showed her like, use this,
This
use the AI to get. She was like, wow,
wow.
it was like, when
Wow.
I look at those days, I always tell my spouse, my husband, because I'm just like, you remember those days, sleepless night. I'm trying to. Now I don't have to do it. Yeah, I've seen that transform just within the last 3 years. I've
Absolutely.
moved from that point to this stage, and thanks to AI, right?
It's amazing.
It's
It's
amazing.
amazing. Such a time, such an interesting time to be alive. I am so grateful to God that I'm here. I'm alive at this time
I know.
because there are a lot of things in life that you can't really control. There are geniuses that have come to this world, but they didn't have the opportunity that we have now. Some of them could not live fully because they didn't have access to things that could help them to maximize their potential.
So,
Now, you don't need to be a genius. You just need to be smart. And there are a lot of tools that can make you look like one.
so,
Yeah. I stumbled on a video of John, I've forgotten his last name. No, Jim Rohn.
oh,
On Jim Rohn's video, he was talking to a set of people and he was talking about we are living in an amazing time. Do you know that right now we can fly from San Francisco to China in 12 hours? Do you know that now we have something that we can use to make phone calls? Because that video is like maybe 50 years ago.
wow.
He was talking about telecommunication that now we can
Mhm.
make phone call and talk to anyone around the world.
Imagine.
This is a big opportunity coming your way. And I'm just like, oh, this same phone was a big deal so many years back. That's how AI is going to change the world for us.
Thank
So
you for
thank
that.
you so much, Dr. B.
You're welcome.
I
Before I go, I want to say something about like was it 2 days ago? I saw a video on Instagram, and then I wouldn't even have spotted it. It was I think it was even a sponsored ad, but then there was this man talking about stuff, I looked like a real human. But then I was interested in the topic.
hmm,
So I clicked on the comments to hear what people have to say. And people were like, oh yeah, nice try, AI. And then I had to watch the
watch it
video
again.
closely. I didn't notice myself. I had to watch it closely, and then I saw what they were all saying. It was just like, so? Because for people that don't really like to come online, this is the opportunity to show their face
Exactly.
and all of that. Just put your picture up there, put in the prompt, like the text, and then create a video with that picture of you talking. That's it. And then before you know it, everybody, we all have YouTube channels and everybody's talking. Because the
Right.
gap now is because, oh, some people cannot even stand in front of the camera. But now
Hmm.
it's the time with
No, you
AI
don't
to
need
just
to. AI
make
will
that
put you
happen.
in front of the camera.
Do you get it? So it's just the new world we are in, and we have
Yeah.
to just
Embrace it.
basically embrace it. Exactly. And the one thing I'm always skeptical about, and I think this actually I would say it's applicable to any type of technology, is the ethical part of it.
Yeah, that's a big concern for me too.
Yeah, so we still have to protect our children as well.
Yeah.
Like while there's AI, I still don't get my kids doing their homework through AI. They don't even think right, tell me the story, write it out, use your pen and your paper to write it out. I still believe it's important they have those skills. Whether those
Yeah.
skills will matter in a few years, I don't know, but still, just have those natural skills
Yeah.
that would help you. Maybe those would even help you stand out with the whole prompting and all those things, probably. But I still believe we need to protect our children. I'm not saying
Yeah.
don't let them use it, but just make sure like it's well maybe like well monitored
Absolutely.
in terms of how they use it. And then the other piece is responsible AI, which is how
Mm.
we using AI in a responsible manner. Because I see a lot of people, even security wise, like they'll grab people's voices, and use it for the
Yeah.
wrong things and all of that. So those are just like the a few concerns that I have about AI. And I hope, like, as the world grows, I believe that they're going to be. I tell people, like, a lot of people in governance and all, like, oh, yeah, while data
Yeah.
governance is good, the next big one is probably the AI governance because we would all
We
need it. We're
we
getting to
will.
that point now, and it's time for people to start looking that way. I don't even think you need to be in that space to probably take a course on it. Like, I'm pretty much like looking into
Just
probably
for
taking.
awareness. Just
Yeah,
for
yeah,
awareness.
just understanding like what are the
What are
things
the
like
risks?
governing this new technology and how can we
Mm.
protect the society, in terms of how it will be used. And of course, communicating that, helping us, as maybe a business owner or like a professional, and also helping our kids, our children, our family, and also people within our neighborhood, and also the entire society. So it's something we all need to take note of as we navigate this new technology that
Right.
exists. Yeah,
I feel like we can go on and on, but it looks like this is our own. This is something both of us are passionate about. So this technology, we just keep going on and on. But thank you so much, Dr. B, for coming and for
absolutely.
being a thriving immigrant. I always love to ask my guests this question: what is the most powerful piece of advice that you have ever received? It doesn't have to be related to scholarship, business, or anything. Just something.
Something. I think for me, when it comes to advice, it would just be more like, and then I know it was my dad that told, my dad and my mom. I can't remember what had happened then. And it's just like, no matter what, you don't give up easily.
Hmm.
I can't remember exactly this. And if you notice, like people that know, they know that unless I just don't really want that thing. And unless I just get to a point where you're like, okay, this is not for me, or this is not aligned with my values or like my goals, or maybe God's will, because I believe so much in God's direction. So it gets to a point of like, okay, yeah, I don't think God really wants me to go this way. So apart from that, I think that's something that actually really helped me in my
Hmm.
journey. I remember my dad and mom just had told me, I think I was in high school. I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna do this. And I'm like, yeah, well, life is all about this and that, and it's okay to just give up. But it's not good to easily give up. Sometimes if you really want something, you go for it.
Right.
And that's why I can really be in the scholarship space because
I was
because you
gonna
don't
say
get the
that.
first scholarship does not mean it's over. So when I see someone like it's over, I'm just like it's over? Really?
I
The
was gonna
first
say that.
rejection?
I was gonna say that you can't be in scholarship business and not be a go-getter. It's not gonna happen.
Exactly.
It's a game of rejection.
It is.
Yeah, and
So
it's
and
really
like any
helping you.
same like just same like any career field, right?
Yeah,
It is what it is, but you end up seeing people now get it. So imagine I'd seen a client when within 24 hours went from, oh no, this is so sad, to now getting an offer like a few hours later, and I was happy. It's just like
yeah.
now you're so happy. You just sent me like this voice note crying and all of that because of one. Yet you were waiting for two more decisions.
Hmm.
And then because of one, you just went on like it was over. And then the next, she was now laughing and so happy. It's like you should have just waited. And this all happened within 24
It's
hours.
4 hours.
So
Imagine.
imagine if she had just waited for even a few days. What would have happened, right? So for me, like rejection means nothing to me at this.
Rejection is
It's
breakfast
like
for you.
it's kind of like part of life to me now. Like, okay, oh yeah, I didn't get okay. I'll try again next year. That's it. I just move on.
Hmm.
or maybe, yeah, okay, if they have another opportunity later in the year, or maybe, okay, I'm not even sure I want to go in that direction anymore, unless I don't want to, and if it's not God's will. So it's really helped me. It's one major advice that actually helped me to navigate life and not really feel bad about certain things happening. Because I just believe that, okay, yeah, there could be so many reasons. It doesn't mean that I'm not good enough. It could just mean that it's something else. And that actually happened to me last year, like
Hmm.
a big program that I always wanted to get into. The first one, I got rejected. So like, okay, no problem. Second time, I'm coming really hard. The second time, okay, this is it. Put things in place, get it and submitted, and then, oh, congratulations. Same program, same
Wow.
year, 6 months apart. But
Hmm.
I'd given up. I was like, oh yeah, this is too more. No, they're never gonna call me because yeah, it's not they don't need people like me. No, don't reject yourself because you got the first a rejection letter. Look at what you could have missed from the first application, from the first thing you had done, or from whatever it is. I don't know, it might not be an application. Like just look at it, like kind of like think about it, look through it, identify the gaps and see what you can do to close it and go again. That's that's my own way of doing things.
Thank you. How can we contact you?
Okay, so for me, you can contact me either through the Scholarship Wiz. So
Okay.
it could be the info at the scholarshipwiz.org, that is ORG, or the scholarshipwiz at gmail.com. So any of those. And the other one is you can also contact me through Innovative Woman, which is innovativewomanafrica at gmail.com. So whichever one you want, if you want to talk about Innovative Woman Africa, just reach out to me there. But if you still reach out to me even for that same topic through the Scholarship Wiz email, that works. So info at the scholarshipwiz.org or the scholarshipwiz at gmail.com. I'm very active on both.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. B. It's been an amazing time having this conversation with you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for what you are doing. And on this note, I'm going to end by saying you have a chance as long as you don't quit. So if you are listening to me right now, please feel free to share this podcast with someone and subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you can know when new episodes are being published. Thank you. I remain your host, Paul Adeyeye, and have a wonderful time.